All right, y'all. So if I could just make a smaller summary of what I said before on the entire Charlie Kirk situation, um, no one should really be surprised by this. I mean, coming off of the Hulk Hogan situation, no one should be surprised. It Now, I'm not saying it's the exact same situation, but when you live your life a certain type of way, when you get that high up, when you have that much influence, he's not supposed to be just considered just a guy. For people who think, oh, he was just a guy just sharing his opinions, that's crazy. That guy was high up politically, socially. He had a lot of followers. He had a lot of people tuning in to what he was saying, following what he was saying. Even when they disagreed, they at least listened to him intently. So to just say he was just a guy following, well, just a guy sharing his opinions, and he was just a guy trying to educate people. No, no, he wasn't. No, y'all trying to paint him as like he's um, Robin Williams in Dead Poets Society, and he's just trying to educate young minds to think more freely. No, 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 he wasn't. That is not all he was doing. Maybe it's a small piece of what he was doing, but that was not all he was doing. That guy was almost purposefully antagonizing people with what he was saying. So there should be no surprise at what happened. Also, there should be no celebration of what happened. Now, I'm not with that. I'm not with the cheering over a death. I'm not with the celebrating and laughing over a death. I'm never with that. I wasn't with Hulk Hogan, and I'm not with Charlie Kirk. I'm never with celebrating. That's ridiculous. And then there's the people that prop them up, that are of the same mindset. People like Bill Maher, people like Dean Withers, folks like Howard Stern, people like that, that just have really problematic views on a lot of things. And they almost hide behind the, oh, freedom of speech. So I can say whatever crazy, insane things I want to say, and hey, freedom of speech, right? Freedom of speech. I don't expect any flack after it. I don't expect anything to happen to me. You can't touch me. Freedom of speech. That's crazy. Freedom of speech, sure, but you're not gonna be free from consequences. So there's that. To the next point of him just saying words, and oh, that shouldn't have happened because words are just words, and you shouldn't react that way to just words. That's incredibly a naive thought, because words are never just words. We know from all the things that MLK has said over the years, the I Have a Dream speech, those were technically just words, but the impact it had was a whole movement that's still going on today. Whenever Malcolm X talked, he moved people with what he said. Maya Angelou, uh, she moved people when she was speaking. Dalai Lama, when the very little we've seen of him, when he talks, when he says something, people listen. Yes, it's just words, but they impact people. And yes, again, I'll say even comedians like Dave Chappelle and his storytelling, and Cat Williams, the interview, they both know words aren't just words. What you say, it matters to people. They listen and they act a certain type of way in response to those words. Uh, the impact Harry Potter has had, the big impact the Bible has had, even though it's technically just words, it's had a giant impact on society. I was walking in Walmart today. There were dolls dressed in Hufflepuff gear and Ravenclaw gear. It's made a big impact. Just the Harry Potter books, never mind all the books that contain religion, which make people do all sorts of things, good and bad. Yes, they were just words in a papyrus and sheets of paper. Yeah, they're technically just words, but they cause people to act a certain way. So to say that Charlie Kirk was just saying words and it shouldn't have caused all of it, well, that's a little naive. I mean, look what happened to JFK. Look what happened to Abraham Lincoln, Malcolm X, MLK, what Charlie Kirk said about MLK. Words aren't just words. You don't even have to be a real person to understand that. With the debate on who's a better leader, Optimus Prime or Captain America, when Captain America said, uh, "If you die, walk it off," and everybody was hype over that because even they understand. Yeah, that got them roused up when Optimus Prime speaks in that voice and he rouses up a big speech. They're ready to fight. They're ready to die for Optimus Prime. It's the same thing in the real world. You don't even have to be a real character to understand that words aren't just words. But yeah, words are never just words. They're gonna affect people, and in turn they're gonna act a certain way. Now, depending on what kind of person they are and what you're saying, it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, but words are never just words. And the whole praying for his family, I certainly agree. I certainly agree. We should be praying for his family. We should be praying for his daughters. We should be praying for his wife. We should be praying for his friends, people like Dean Withers. Right now, we should be praying right now, which is my point. Don't try to throw Christian guilt on people now. Now that something finally has happened to him, you should have been did it. You should have been did that a long time ago. Dean Withers, he's alive right now. Bill Maher, people that think like that, they're alive today. Now, if you're a real Christian and if this affects you that much, you should be praying for them right now. If you think what they say is problematic, you should be speaking out with Christian boldness right now. You should be trying to counsel them now while they're still alive before something like the Charlie Kirk thing with Tyler Robinson, who did it, before something like that happens. The people who are alive right now, you should be praying for them right now. You should be acting right now if it really matters to you and you're not just putting on a Christian mask, if you're not just putting on a Christian costume to make yourself look better when tragedy strikes. You would be doing the right thing right now. Pray for them now. Try to counsel them now. Challenge beliefs now. Practice what you preach today. Do it today. That way, it might not have to get to one of these Dean Withers, one of these Charlie Kirk situations. It might not get to it. And that's just what I had to say. That's just try to condense it down. But yeah, I don't believe we should be cheering and laughing at somebody's death. And I don't even believe we should have put out that video. That is like extremely triggering to all of his loved ones and his family, and they gotta know that that video is out there. I don't even think you should have did that. But no. I definitely don't agree with a lot of his viewpoints as well as people like him. But no, I'm not of the mindset we should be laughing and giggling and celebrating that he's gone just because we disagree with him, or even majorly bad mouthing him. But you know, it's hard for people to admit they're wrong, so I suspect it's gonna happen again. It is what it is. I'm just saying.